Exploring Middle-earth, a review of War of the Rohirrim. Welcome to Trend Talks with Jenny and Joey. I'm Jenny, and this is my co-host, Joey. We're here to dive into the latest trends and hot topics from around the world.
That's right. Today, we're diving into the animated film War of the Rohirrim, set in the world of Middle-earth. It's a fascinating take on a lesser-known story within the Lord of the Rings universe.
Absolutely. The film tells the story of Helm Hammerhand, the king of Rohan, and his conflict with a local lord. It's a tale of revenge and leadership, set against the backdrop of a siege at Helm's Deep.
The animation style was quite interesting. It did take some getting used to, but they did a good job of grounding it in the familiar world of Middle-earth. The armor, the layout, and even the musical cues all felt very much in line with Peter Jackson's vision.
Yeah, the music was a mixed bag. While it didn't have the iconic score of the original trilogy, there were moments that paid homage to Howard Shore's work. It's like they were trying to strike a balance between being true to the source material and creating their own identity.
Speaking of the source material, the film felt like a hybrid between Lord of the Rings and Fire Emblem. It's a smaller, more personal story within the grand scope of Middle-earth, which was refreshing. But at the same time, it could have taken place in any medieval fantasy world.
That's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's nice to see a story that doesn't revolve around the One Ring. On the other, it does feel a bit generic. But I did appreciate the reminder that Middle-earth has a rich history beyond the major events we're all familiar with.
Definitely. And there were some interesting character moments. The idea of making Helm Hammerhand's daughter the central character was a bold move. It felt like they were trying to create a new story on top of Tolkien's work, which is both ambitious and a bit risky.
It's like they felt pressured to include a strong female character, but it didn't quite land. The film felt a bit too long, too. There were moments that could have been trimmed to make it more concise.
The animation itself was decent. The still frames looked nice, but in motion, it could be a bit choppy. It's a common issue with animated films, but it did detract from the overall experience.
Despite its flaws, there's an interesting story here. It explores the difference between seeking revenge and being a good leader. It's a tale that could have been told in many different settings, but it's nice to see it within the world of Middle-earth.
I'd recommend watching it if you're a fan of the IP. It's not perfect, but it's worth a look. And it's a good reminder of why we love Middle-earth in the first place.
Absolutely. If you've seen War of the Rohirrim, what did you think? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to see more stories from Middle-earth adapted, share your thoughts with us.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Trend Talks. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.